Clarity precedes mastery. If you are confused, you cannot create. Robin Sharma. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when and where you're watching from. This is Professionals Daily Devotion with Olasukomi Okwefa, and we believe we inspire you to just do more. Just do an extra. And this morning, we are going to be looking at continuation of building or creating mental roadmap, and we look at navigate with clarity, thinking straight in a storm. You see, in uncertain times, thinking clearly is a form of leadership, and not just ordinary leadership, but self leadership, ability to own the thought and then navigate a clear path in your head. When you look at those who prank actually what they want to do is just to create a level of confusion in your mind for you to believe certain thing is real. But if you're able to hold yourself and say, no, I think this must be a prank, and then you just want to quickly check it, you realize that you are not falling for it. That's what I say, you are not falling for it. At times, life actually throws things at us. It could be a prank, it could be a form of reality. But when you're able to have a clear thought, as it's been thrown to you, you'll be able to dissect and analyze it, and then you find yourself. So we are going to be looking at that in about 7 or 8 minutes that we have left. We hit that moment in our lives all the time, especially in our environment where you have deadlines pressing, you have boys here, you have bills here, you have things here. So many things are clogging your mind. And currently, now that's what we have. We have a lot of confusion. You go on social media, you see this today. What you think is the way out yesterday will become another thing tomorrow. So everything is a little bit creating confusion. But let me tell you, clear minds create bold moves. So don't let, as they are being thrown at you, always find a shield to hold them, analyze them, and pick what you need. But we are going to get into it. So let's see what research says about clarity of mind. Cornell University says high performing executives who reported regular clarity rituals. And what are they? They have visual maps, journaling, writing, and the rest. They make about 32% more confident decisions under pressure because most of the time they always do writing. So their mind is always clear. They write a journal. They do visual mapping. They understand their own terrain. They don't dabble into what's not their business all the time. I'm already jumping into the script now. Forbes Coaches Council says clarity is one of the top three leadership traits clients struggle with during career transition or crisis moment. And I agree totally with this. I've been there. Okay, clarity. Okay, what do I actually want to do now? You are just confused at that point. You want to navigate into a new level in your business, in your career. You are not wondering what should I do next. I was chatting with a friend yesterday, and I told her that, see, especially at the age of 40, in our 40s, is at that stage of creativity where you are wondering, "Look, what's the next thing for me now? Will I just remain here carrying file up and down? Is there anything you are thinking of posterity? You are thinking of your future, your children, your family. So clarity is always there. So you need to learn how to create that. And Google's Project Oxygen says that the best team leaders were not the most aggressive, they were the clearest communicators and thinkers. Of course, that's true. So you are able to communicate your thoughts, your vision to someone, and then you are clear about it. You are not being manipulative, except for those who are very manipulative with their visions anyway. But let's see, how do you achieve this? Let's look at the framework now, how to build mental clarity, especially under pressure. So continue with me. We are using, of course, Clear as our framework. Okay, CLEAR. We are doing framework so that we not forget. We could have picked anything, but thanks to artificial intelligence, we're able to create some of these things, and then it will give us a fantastic framework around whatever we want to do. So let's do that so that we won't forget. Clear, CLEAR, and ask yourself which stage are you and what are you supposed to do next. First thing you need to do is to cut through the noise. Not everything deserves your attention, and I know how to do that very well. Once I see noise coming, I shut off things around me and I focus on my own. Yeah, it may now be slow. You may not be seeing me there because that is the noise everybody wants to focus on. But by the time you guys are done with your noise, you will still be back to reality. So learn that and cut through the noise. Learn to silence unnecessary input. As they are coming your way in life, just learn to silence them. Focus on what concerns you. There are sometimes that there are some meals that are not my business anyway. Especially when I was working, it was all meals, all meals. Not all meals will I attend to. I read it and I move on to the next one. Okay, not all opinions means your own version of the opinion. Just move on. You don't. I mean, there are better things you can do. Always ask yourself, what be clouding my mind right now, and then mute that thing. If anything is distracting you, check it, and I say, okay, is this person? You see, at times I go on social media to also just, okay, I don't want to follow this person anymore. By the time I see that this is the recurrent, especially all those reels, recurrent reels of some of those comedians, I just go there to mute it, mute, because they have a way of plugging your mind. You go on social media, and then that's what you keep on seeing. No, I mute them. I don't unfollow, but I just mute to be sure that, okay, these are the things I want. So you can clear your own mind like that. So in your office, clear your mind in your place, anywhere, even at home. There are some situations that are not your problem. I mean, security people coming to knock and collect certain amount of money from you. If you can pay them up front, please pay them so that you don't have people knocking on your gate all the time. I mean, not all landlord meeting you attend and you want to contribute, not all tenant meeting you want to contribute. Okay, just make sure you have a clear mind, you have focus, for that man, this is what he wants to do, and we know him. The L there, list what is certain. Okay, and that reminds me, before I go on, not all staff room talk you want to also add to. All right, so L there, our social media, jam is blaming teachers. We are not going to respond. We have done our own responses, and then we move on with what we can do. List what's certain. Okay, ask yourself what is certain. In the middle of confusion, identify your non-negotiables, your value, your priorities, and your purpose. Okay, and then focus on that one. So that becomes your own compass. Is it in line with my purpose? Is it in line with my value? Is it giving me what I need? Is it going in the direction I want? I mean, a subordinate of mine will always call me, and I always tell him, okay, is that achieving the end goal? Let's go ahead and hit it. It doesn't matter who does what. Is he achieving the end goal? So let's go for it. So pick what is certain for you, you can work on. Then the E there, extract the real issues. Okay, extract the real issues. They are still like same thing. Sometimes what feels like a big mess is actually a small knot. Okay, what's really the real issues there in life? Okay, when everybody is shouting, can we address the main issue? Where is the problem coming from? For instance, now everybody on social media wants to blame teachers for it, but there are areas where we just need to look into. I mean, there are some of assessment that we don't even need anymore. Are we looking at the assessment, the readiness of the student, and the assessment of the student? There are issues. So can we trace to the list of it? If I don't, let me say the latest of it, if possible, the list of it, and then you solve the problem from there. Keep on asking why until you get to the root. A there says align with purpose. Okay, you have your goal in life. Let whatever you are doing align with your purpose. Ask yourself, will this move take me closer to my professional goals or further away from it? Okay. And R, reframe your reality all the time. Okay, shift from this is too much or this is training me. Whatever now comes to you in a very funny way, in a way that you don't like, ask yourself, this is not too much for me. Okay, I mean, just say to yourself rather, this is not too much for me. This is rather training me. Clarity is a lens. Choose to see through situations. Okay, not around it. Just see through it that this is training me. This is becoming a training ground for me. All right, so you look at the CLEAR model we are using today and ask yourself, which one do you want to see? Okay, as a middle leader, do you want to cut low on low priority tasks, or do you want to list what remains for you intact? You want to extract the real root of a situation? You want to align things with your purpose, or you want to reframe things and say that yes, this is not drowning me. This is not too much for me. I am not overwhelmed. This is training me. And you pick the real lesson out of it. So let's take our words to confirmation. But don't forget the Phenomenon 3.0 registration is still on. Please kindly register. It's at www.phenomenonedu.com.ng. See registration there. And as a teacher, we'll see you on June 28th. And let me use the opportunity to say happy birthday to my mentor, someone I respect so much, Pastor Koju Oyemade. I mean, I've been following for almost 20 years, if not 20 years now. Okay, and please, I celebrate grace in you. Thank you for teaching us. And they say I look like you. Well, one day I will be bold enough. Anytime I see you again, I hope I will be bold enough to stop you and take a picture with you. I've not been able to do that. I hope I will do it one day. But let's take our words of affirmation quickly. I do not shrink in storm. I clear the fog. I lead with sharp focus, strong values, and bold clarity. I do not shrink in storm. I clear the fog, sharp focus, strong values, and hope and bold clarity. Thank you for joining this morning. We see tomorrow. Yes, we are 4 months strong again. Of course, that's 2 days ago. We see tomorrow when we are going to round up this particular session.